Hello everyone. In this video I will explain what the Thesis online framework is, what it can do, and how you can set everything up. We will only be going over the basic steps necessary to do a first-time setup. I will upload separate tutorial videos for specific features of the system, just to keep this video a bit shorter and make everything a bit easier to find. So TOF is basically an easier way to set up your own portfolio website. It's a couple of things. It's not only a portfolio website. We will also be using this for our online thesis and bachelor's thesis. This way we can make your theses a bit more interactive. We have a couple of neat features where we can use interactive elements like videos or 3D models, even upload WebGL builds of games or other applications straight onto our website and show them off that way. But for today, we will be doing the basic setup, and we will be using three main technologies or like software things for that. We will be using GitLab, which is where we will be hosting our website. So hosting it will be free by doing it this way. So we will get our website online for free. Everyone will be able to access it, and we will be easily able to upload new versions of the website and have them automatically be deployed on GitLab. We will be using Docker, which is a bit more scarier of a software. But what it basically does is it enables us to run our website locally without having to upload it every time. So you won't need to, after every little change you make, upload your whole site to the internet to see if something's worked, if you made something or not. We will just be able to use Docker to run it locally, and it will automatically open a new version of your site every time you save a file. And then we will be using Visual Studio Code to write the website in. You won't be writing any serious code or anything. Mostly you will be just writing text and then maybe use some specific things or copy over some examples to do specific things like putting videos on it or interactive elements. So that's basically it. Now let's do our first time setup. A lot of these things will sort of feel a bit, how shall I say it, feel a bit scary. It's some scary software that you've never used before, but luckily we only need to do this once. After this is done, after everything works, uploading new versions and changing things is a whole lot easier. So let's get started. First, we will need a GitLab account. So if you already have a GitLab account, you can just go to GitLab and sign in. If you don't have an account yet, you can follow me here to gitlab.com/users/sign_up. And over here, we will be creating our new account. So I will be filling everything out right now. So after you've filled everything out, you can click register and you will get a verification code sent to your email. You can fill that one out and then verify. And your verification should be successful. Now you will be put onto this page. You will be able to select a role. Let's choose software developer. Let's say a different reason. It's optional, so you don't need to fill anything out. You can create a new project, and then who will be using it? You can say just me for now. Create or import your first project. Sadly, you need to do this directly in this way with a new account. You can just fill anything in. Group name, I will put something actually useful. So I will put Jeff's group. And then project name, I will do delete me, just so we can start with everyone on the same page. We will be deleting this project. Template, we will select nothing and then create. GitLab sort of forces you to create a first project. Cancel over all this. We are in GitLab right now. So on the left here, we can see the project that we created, and we can just go ahead and delete that right now because we don't really need this one. We can go to settings, general, then over here, all the way at the bottom, you can open up advanced, and then all the way at the bottom again, you can here do delete projects. You will need to copy over this text, paste it here, and that's it. And then say yes, delete the project. So this way that initial project is deleted and we can start from a clean blank slate. So once you have a GitLab account and are logged in, we can all start from the same point. So what you now want to do is you want to go over to this link that I put in the top, gitlab.com/jeffwtd-public/thesis. thesis-online-framework. This is basically where the version of the Thesis Online framework is stored online. This is what I'm maintaining. It contains all the files you need to create your own. And you don't need to download this or anything. What we need to do is create a new project starting from this project that will basically copy everything over so we can change things and create our own website. So over on the right here, you see the fork button. What forking means basically is you are creating a new project starting with all the files from this project. And then whenever I notice serious bugs inside the Thesis Online framework or want to change anything, you can update from my newer version. So the projects stay linked in a way. So over here, we want to create a new fork. And then over here, we want to fill some things out. For the project name, you can choose anything. I will just go portfolio website. And then for the project URL, we need to choose something very specific. So this needs to be right in the project URL dropdown. We want to select your username. So not any group that you created. We want to really select your username. So in my case, Jeff J from Luca. And there we go. And then here for the project slug, this also needs to be very specific, else it won't work. So over on the project slug, we want to enter your username, just everything lowercase. Jeff J from Luca in my case. So just your username should be the same that it is on the left over here, all in lowercase. And then we need to put .gitlab.io. And the way this works is that by entering this really specific URL or project slug, it will create the website online for us, and people will just be able to enter in their browser, will be able to enter jeffjfromluca.gitlab.io, and it will go directly to our website. You can only have one website like this on GitLab, so this would be the one for you. It would be your one portfolio website that's easily accessible like this. So again, choose your own username here. Write this specific slug with your own username in the front, of course, but write it specifically like this. Okay, you can add a description if you want. Branches to include, we can say only the default main branch. So this will make it that only the main Thesis Online Framework branch is included. That way, if I do some development on the project on different branches, it won't be included in your version. Which it shouldn't. So you can select only the default one. And then visibility level, we will need to put this as public since it's going to be a public website, right? So put this as public, and then you can click fork project. It will take a bit. And right now here I have my portfolio website with the specific slug. You can check again here if it's .gitlab.io. And then we have a project basically set up. So right now I just copied all of the last files from the Thesis Online Framework. So all of these files are ready, and we need to do one or two more specific things. So first of all, if we go under build, it will say pipelines. You can click on pipelines. So build pipelines. And then over here, it says before you can run pipelines, we need to verify your account. So we will need to do that first because we will be using pipelines. So I will click verify my account, and I will ask you to either verify by phone number or verify with a credit card. So you can do either. I will be doing it with a phone number right now, and I will be able to continue. So basically you do a puzzle and enter your phone number, and then you will get a text message, and you can fill out that code and then verify your phone number. There we go. Okay, so now we're verified and we can run pipelines. What are pipelines? You don't really need to know, but basically what we will be doing is set up a pipeline later via the code in Visual Studio Code. And what it will basically do is whenever we upload a new version to a specific branch of our project, it will be creating the whole website online. So basically GitLab will be creating and copying over all of the files it needs for the website over onto your actual online project page. So that's all we need to do on GitLab for now. Let's go over to Git and install that. So I'm straightly go onto git-sem.com/downloads/win. You can also just search online for Git for Windows, and we will need to install this first. So over here, you can just click the latest, or you can just get the latest standalone installer here for Windows. So I'm going to choose the 64-bit version. Probably everyone will need a 64-bit version by now. So I'm going to use that. It will download. I'm going to open the downloaded file. It will show you a license. You will read the whole license and then you click next. Over here, it will ask where to install it. Yeah, program files, that's fine. It will ask you to integrate into some Windows things. Yeah, that's fine. Let's click next, 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 next. And there we go. Now it's installing. And now we'll ask us to show the release notes or launch git bash. We don't need to do any of those. Just click finish. All right, now we will be installing Docker. So we will go over to the next web page, docker.com/products/docker-desktop. There we go. You can also just Google for Docker, but this will take you directly to the desktop installation. So over here, if you scroll a bit down, you can see the download Docker desktop button. You will choose one. So over here, you can choose Windows, AMD, or ARM. Most people will probably be on AMD 64. So you can click your version of Windows that you're using. So I'm choosing this one. It will download, and then we can install. Here we are. It asks you to add a shortcut to the desktop. Don't really need that. Let's click OK. Unpacking files. Okay, and installation succeeded. So right now it tells us you must restart Windows to complete installation, and we really need to do this, else it will give us some issues later on. So also for the people that already had Docker installed and only just installed Git, both for Git and for Docker, we need to restart our computer basically. So even if you just installed Git, you also want to restart right now. So just restart your computer. You can click close and restart. We'll do that right now. And we're back. So our PC restarted and we can continue the process. Now that we installed Docker, the first time that we reboot, Docker will be asking you to accept a subscription service agreement. You can click accept over here. Don't need Steam. And then it will ask you to finish setting it up. So we can use the recommended settings and just click finish. And then welcome to Docker. We can skip everything here. So we can just click the skip button on the top right. Skip the survey. So it asks us to sign in, but we don't really need anything like that. So right now Docker is running. It's not really on because there's nothing in here yet. We will be adding stuff later. So we'll be closing this, just minimizing it for now. And we will be using it in a bit. So right now we want to open our browser again. So now we will be installing the last piece of software that we'll need. So we'll be installing Visual Studio Code. Some people again will already have it because of our other lessons, but you can go over to code.visualstudio.com. There we go. And over here on the top, it will say download for Windows. So we'll be doing that. Once downloaded, we run the executable and we can minimize Firefox for now. We accept the agreement, read it first, obviously, accept the agreement. And then, yes, this is fine. Install it here. Yeah, install. And then once installed, we can say finish and launch Visual Studio Code. There we go, click finish. And VS Code will open up. Some people already know this software from other lessons, but I will be going over everything that we need right now. First, it will ask you to get started with VS Code, and it will ask you to set up some things. We won't be setting up Copilot. We will choose our theme. So you can choose a theme over here. Do you want a dark or light themes? We can add rich text support for the languages that we'll be using, but we will be doing this manually. And all of the other stuff we can just mark done, and we're done. So right now, here we are in Visual Studio. We can close this tab. Okay, so right now we need to add an extension to use Docker inside of Visual Studio. That way we don't really need to touch Docker ever again, and we can just do everything from here. So we can click on the extensions icon on the left over here, click it, And then over here in the top search bar, we can search for specific extensions. So we can search for Docker. And over here, the top one, Docker by Microsoft, this is the one that we'll need. So you can click install next to it. And then once installed, we can continue. So right now we want to click on the Git icon or the source control icon on the left over here. So this icon, click it. And we will be opening our repository. So we will basically be opening the project from GitLab straight into Visual Studio over here. So we can go first into Firefox again and then go to GitLab. We rebooted our PC, so we need to sign in again. And once we're in GitLab again, we can see the list of all of our projects. We will be clicking our portfolio website project. So we will be needing this link to our project, but if you click on any of the submenus or files, this link might change. So the safest place to copy the link to this project is over here on code. And then here on the clone with HTTPS, you can click the little copy URL button onto the right. So you can click this, and now the URL is copied. We can go back into VS Code. Over here, in the source control tab, again, we can click clone repository. And then over on the top here, it will ask us to provide the repository URL. And that's the one we just copied. So you can just paste that one over here and then press enter. Now it will ask us to save this somewhere on our PC. So I will choose somewhere to save this. All right. So I chose where to save the project and it downloaded, and now it's asking us if we would like to open the cloned repository, and we will say yes, open it please. And all of the files will be here. So now it detected that some code was added and opened. So it's asking us if all of the executable files in this folder are safe. And yes, we can trust the authors. So we can click that. And then our project is open. So again, we can close this welcome page here. All right, so everything is downloaded and our project is ready to go. So if you go into the Explorer on the top left over here, we can see all of the files in our project. Now, right now we'll need to set up. Our project to run locally on our PC so we can quickly iterate and quickly see what changed on our website. First of all, we need to go into the bin folder. And then here we see the entrypoint.sh file. Just click that to open it. We don't need to change anything here. We just need to check that here on the bottom right, this says CRLF right now. This needs to be LF. So if you just click this, click the CRLF, and then select LF from the drop down at the top here, that will set it to LF. And that's just something that sometimes Windows changes when you download the project. And it really needs to be LF, else the next step won't work. So we put it on LF and then clicked Control S to save it, or went into File, Save to save this file. Then we can close this again. And now we need to install everything that Docker needs. So basically create a server to run our website on via Docker. So we can right click this docker-compose.slim file, and then we can click Compose Up. Some scary text will start scrolling across the screen. And in a couple of minutes, Docker should have installed everything and we should be ready to go. Okay, that took a bit more than 2 minutes for me. And then at the bottom here, it should say Service Jekyll built, container started. And now Docker should be running with our little server that our website will be ran on locally. So we can go into the Docker tab that we have on the left here because we installed the Docker extension. We can click over here and we can just check that it added a new container. So if you go into the top here, it will say containers, and containers are basically like little computers that run on top of your computer. And this one is basically running our web server that's hosting our website. You don't really need to know how any of this works. You just need to see that it's added the Docker image here and it has the green triangle next to it. That means that it's running. So if you see a red square here, then something went wrong and you probably need to come over and ask me a question to see what went wrong. But right now it should be running. The next time that you reboot your PC, Probably this won't be a green arrow. This will probably be the red square. That probably means that you just need to start Docker again. So you can either just go into Windows, search for Docker, and just run it once. And then the Docker window will open up and it will start Docker again. You can just close that window then, and you will be able to just click right here on the red square and it will just start running this container again. Okay, so our website should already be running right now. So if you just open up Firefox and then open up a new tab and go to localhost 8080, localhost 8080, then we can see that our website is in fact running. It needs to load the images the first time, so it takes a bit longer the first time. Our website is loaded. This is what it looks like. And we can just go to all of the pages and see what's on here. So we have a portfolio page with just like a single project here right now. And we can also change to the light theme, to the dark theme. And this is just the automatic theme, which just syncs with the theme on your PC. So just a home and portfolio page right now, and we will see later how to set everything up. We will continue by just changing a couple more settings right now for our first time setup. Okay, so now we will be changing some settings on our home screen and some other settings for our website. We will open up the _config.yml file over here, click it. It opens and we will be changing some settings here. For example, this one you can change to just the dash. You can remove everything behind it because we're using GitLab for hosting. You can also change the GitHub right here to GitLab. There we go. GitLab.io. And then we can leave it like that. We can change our name. So this is our website title. I can, for example, put Jeff's portfolio. And then here I can change my first name, my last name. You can change your job title, which is like the tag that it puts below your name. Change your email address. Change the description, add some keywords, change the language. So for example, if my website is in English, I will keep it as EN. And then when I want to use Dutch, I can put NL or another language over here. And then down here, we can add some social features. So for example, I can link my Discord via my website. So if I just put my unique 18 number code over here, so you can guess that this is not my real code. So I can put this like that. And you can also add like Facebook IDs, Instagram IDs, GitLab username and all that, and it will link it that way as well. So we can just save this right now. Now, this is one of the few files, the config.yml, that is not updated automatically. You will need to force reset Docker for this file to take effect, just because this is one that is loaded whenever you start up the server. So in this case, we need to go into the Docker menu again on the left here. And then here on the running container, we can right click and press restart. It should be done restarting because the notification went away, and then we can go back here. Okay, so if we refresh our web page now, we can see that it now says Jeff's portfolio, and we can see my name over here. So a couple of these things changed. Now we didn't actually change the text on this web page. We will take a look at how to do that right now. So if you go back into Visual Studio, we can close the config.yml file. We only need to change this file once, and then we go back into the Explorer, and we'll take a look at our home page, which is located at the _pages folder. And here we have the home.md file. So we can open that up. And over here for all these page files, basically on the top, you have some settings for the file, which in most cases you don't need to change. In this case, you can change like the title that it shows at the top of the page, and you can change the subtitle as well. Over here is the actual text of your site. So if you want to change that, I can say, hello, this is a test to see if I can change my home page. There we go. We can save it like that. And over here, you also see how to add links to your website. So like this, if you put a square bracket around some text, And then behind that, in round brackets, you say which page to go to. You can link to other pages on your website. You can also put like HTML links to something as well. So if you would like to add a link to a YouTube video or something like that, you can do it this way as well. So you can save this page. We changed our text, and now we don't need to go ahead and restart it again because this is just a normal page file. These will be automatically detected that there is a change that has happened, and Docker will automatically reload that file. So if you go back into Firefox, you can see that our text is already here. So hello, this is a test to see if I can change my homepage. The text is already there. Now, let's take a look at how to change some things like our icon, the icon that you see here on the top of your web page, and also pictures like this one. I'm guessing you are not a Lego chicken man, so you probably want to add your own picture over here. All pictures and basically all assets that you will use for your website are stored in the assets folder. So we can go in here and take a look. Inside the assets folder, we have an audio folder, bibliography, which is used for your thesis, CSS files, which are used for the looks of your website. Mostly you won't need to change these. Then we have games. If you run like Unity WebGL builds, you can place them in this folder. There's an example already in there. And then we have the image tab, which is mostly the one we'll be opening up and using. This has the favicon. So this is like the small icon that is used for your website. It's just a PNG file, a really small one. So you can open this one up in Photoshop and change it. We also have some other images that are used throughout the site. For example, this profile_pic.jpg file, and you can open this one up in Photoshop as well and change it out with your own image. Then we have some other images here in our projects file that are used inside of the website, and another few images that are used on the thesis pages. So inside the IMG folder, you can change images and link to them as well. We will be using that later in other tutorials. And then the other folders here are just for JavaScript files and JSON files. Mostly you don't need to change those again. And then we have the models where we put 3D models. So here I have a placeholder image for a teapot model. And this is the GLB file, which is an actual 3D model file. And then we have PDFs and video as well. So we also have a video with some dominoes falling over here. And that is also used on the website as like a placeholder thing. So inside the assets folder, we store all of the assets that we will be using. And then most of the other folders are used for pages. So if you go again and take a look at our pages, we can see here a 404 page, which will show up if you are on a page that does not exist. The bachelor thesis page, which you can start changing to add your bachelor thesis text. More info on that in a separate video. This is a features page, which shows you all of the features in the Thesis Online Framework. We have the home page that we just changed, a master thesis page, a portfolio page, which just basically sets up all of the projects that you need. You will only be needing to change a couple of things here, but also that is in a separate video. We have the resume page, which doesn't really have any content right here. It just needs to exist here, and we will show you how to change that as well. And then we have the thesis page. Some of these pages or page names might be different in your version because I still need to update some stuff, but yeah. So we changed our homepage and we are ready to upload a new version of our website to the internet. Right now, our website is hosted locally. You can see that by the name localhost that we use to actually show the web page in our browser. We want our web page to be online, to be on GitLab for everyone to see. Because right now, if we go to this link, .gitlab.io, we can see that there's nothing here. It would just say redirecting and give us a 404 page. So our website is not yet online. It's only currently locally living on our PC. So if we go back to Visual Studio, we can open up source control over here, and we can see that we changed a couple files, right? So we changed the entry point.sh file, so it has the LF on the bottom right there, just so that our Docker thing worked. So that's a file we want to upload. We can select it over here, just hover over it and click on the plus, stage changes, and that will put it inside the staged changes folder as well. Then we have the home MD page, which we changed. We can also upload that. So we can press stage again. It will be in staged changes. And then here, the _config YAML file, we also changed some settings over there. So we can also stage that. So we only want to upload the files that we really have changed. So these two, in this case, we can write a message over here on the top on what we changed, just so that it's clear for us on a later date to see what has changed. Modified the home page and default settings. There we go. And now all that's left is to press commit. And then the first time that we commit, it will probably give you an error. Make sure you configure your user.name and user.email in Git, which is something that we still need to do. So let's show you how to do that. So to get rid of that error, what we basically want to do is go into our terminal and start up a new terminal. And then over here, we want to type git space config --global and then user.email space, and then in double quotes, we want to put our email address. So I'm just going to put chef@luca.be. And then after that, we want to do git config --global user.name. And then again, put your username. This needs to be the same one as your GitLab username. So I'm going to go over here and then copy over my username from here. So it's basically this one that we used earlier. I'm going to copy it here by right-clicking when hovering over here and then end the quotes. So that's my GitLab username that I'm putting. You can also just type it over and then press enter. So right now we set up our username to use when committing something to the internet, and then also our username to use. So that should have worked. We should now be able to press commit, and then our changes are committed, and we can now press sync, which actually starts uploading them. It will tell us like, hey, you're actually going to change something over on the internet, and then we can say, okay, don't show again. And it's uploading the files. So right now, because it's our first time again, it will ask us to actually log in to GitLab. So over here, we can say sign in with your browser. Click that. And then here it asks us basically to give us access. And we can say on the bottom here, authorize Git credential manager. There we go. Authentication successful. We can close this page. And back over here, now it will actually start uploading things. And it seems to have done it. So it seems to have uploaded. If we now go back over to GitLab. So right now the files should already be uploaded. So if we refresh over here, it should say, for example, on the pages here, last update 1 minute ago. So that means that it actually updated something. And we can also see like a progress running symbol over here. And that means that something is running. And if we go into our build pipelines again, which we went into earlier as well, we can see that over here, it's running a pipeline. And that basically just means that it's copying over all of the files, generating all of the files for our website. So everything was uploaded and it's now generating the website on GitLab. It's still running because this isn't green yet. And we also, in the meantime, need to change one more thing or check one more thing. If we go into deploy and then pages, over here, we just need to change one more thing. We need to deselect this use unique domain and then save changes. So that just makes it that our domain, the basic domain that we set up, the username.gitlab.io actually works and is active. So right now we can try this out, go into this link, and here's our portfolio. So everything worked. This page is actually online. It might not be anymore once you are watching this video because I might delete this account that I created today. But this web page is online and yours should be as well. So all of this that we did today only needs to happen once. It's a one-time setup thing. So all of the going into pages and going into the pipeline stuff, don't need to do that anymore. From now on, you can just go to this web page that you used every time you upload something here by staging the files, committing them, and then syncing them over the network. That actually updates your website, and the files will end up here and automatically be shown on this page. It might take a minute, right? So in some cases, if it takes a while for something to update, you might want to take a look at the build pipelines and just see if anything shows like a red cross here or something. That means then something went wrong, and you can send me the errors that you saw, and we can figure out what went wrong together. But sometimes it might just also take a little bit more. If you uploaded videos or uploaded like larger files, then it might take a bit longer. Okay, so everything is set up for you now to run your own website. So your website is online and you can start changing stuff. In the other videos, we will go over how to add specific features, how to change specific pages. Some things that I still want to tell you is that this hosting, so the GitLab.io hosting that we're using, is totally free, but it has some limitations, obviously, right? You want to keep in mind that the hosting is limited. So what does that mean? It means that if you want to serve a lot of files, a lot of large files, for example, large video files or large Unity builds via your website, that's not really something to be done on GitLab.io. A small video is fine, especially if you only have like a couple visitors to your website, which will mostly be the case while you're still studying. So a couple of files is fine. A couple of small videos is fine probably, but you might notice or you might get an email that you've used too much data and the hosting will be stopped, or they will ask you to pay if you've used too much. So don't upload like full-length videos to this website. Upload them to a service like YouTube and use the YouTube link on your website, which is something that we'll see in the next video. And I'll explain that again then, but just something to keep in mind. The hosting here is a bit limited. It's fine for almost all use cases that we will be using, but for specific things, you want to keep in mind that you don't want to use large files on your website. Okay, that was all for today. Hopefully everything went great. If you had any issues during the setup, let me know so I can add them to my list of pitfalls and maybe modify this video as well in the future. And then I'll hear from you and we'll figure it out together.